Back again, we are focusing on the reception, response, and coordination in mammals. We had learned that these mammals are going to coordinate their activities in two ways. And we were saying that there is the nervous system and there's another one called the endocrine system. Now today we are focusing ourselves on the nervous system. The nervous system, as the name suggests, nervous is a derivative of the term nerve. A nerve can also be known as a neuron. So it's a nerve oblique neuron, marking point. Now, once we are talking about a neuron, we cannot be able to understand further unless we know what we mean. So a nerve is therefore the basic functional unit of a nervous system. That means without this nerve, there is nothing or no activity will take place. Like in Form 1 when you're learning about a cell, that the cell is the basic unit of life. Without a cell, no life. Without a nerve, no nervous coordination. You can't walk. You can't do anything that involves the nerves. And therefore, having learned that, now it's important that you see a basic structure of a nerve. Look at the structure. And the structure is a lot of things. The dendrites, there's a cell body, there is an axon here, there's a myelin sheet on covering it, and these are two dendrites on 2 points. We learn later what those are. But one most important thing here is, at the center you can be able to see a nucleus, which controls all the cell or the body activities. And when you ask the question, for example, from this point, you must be very specific and tell us that this nucleus controls activities of a nerve. That is how biology is very interesting, and you have to be very specific all the time. So, having understood that point, now I would want us to look at this nervous system we are talking about. How is it structured? The number one, a nervous system is further divided into two sections, which one involves the central nervous system, number two, the peripheral nervous system. And then further down, the central nervous system now is comprising of the brain and the spinal cord. And the peripheral nervous system has the cranial nerves and also the spinal nerves. So that means PNS is a system of nerves, and the CNS is the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is inside your skull. Skull is also known as the cranium. And the spinal cord runs from this point behind there and then goes to the tail, and that is inside a vertebral column. So it's very simple to understand using a chart like this. When you're able to see this is the nervous system, CNS, PNS. CNS further comes brain, spinal cord. PNS has cranial nerves and spinal nerves. You can be able to relate now that the cranial nerves and spinal nerves are related to the brain, and the spinal are related to the spinal cord. So that system works hand in hand. It does not work in isolation. It is interconnected. The brain, the spinal cord, and nerves. That is sensory nerve, relay nerve, and motor nerve. All will be working together. Every time we'll be mentioning those nerves, please mark all those terms that we are using here. See you in the next lesson.